Hey guys, Mary Languish here. I am going on a long weekend vacation with my family and I packed up my acrylic paints and I wanted to just give you a walkthrough of basically what I've packed. So let's dive in. So obviously when you're packing for a vacation, it kind of depends on your intentions, where you're going. Are you flying? Are you driving? Are you going to be at a table? Are you going to be outside painting? Like, there's so many things to keep in mind. So how you pack for your intentions is going to be different. This trip for me specifically, I have a specific series of paintings I'm working on that are actually 8x10, which is quite small. And so I can bring those pretty easily in a backpack. But you also may want to use like canvas paper and cut it into strips or cut it into little squares and bring that with you, kind of like a little paper pad, and do some small paintings that way. But for my case and what I want to do, I'm going to use these. I also am going to be probably working at a table because we're going to a house kind of in the mountains, and so I'm not going to be painting outside because it's winter, and so I don't really need an easel. I don't really need all the outdoor gear. So that's what I'm using for my surface. I also, again, because of that reason, I can have a bigger water container. I've been only working with a few brushes. I always recommend not bringing too many brushes. I personally am kind of someone who uses like 1 or 2 size brushes for pretty much everything, but that's just me. I got my acrylic medium in there too, which makes my paint stay wet longer and a little bit thicker, which I kind of like. Spray bottle is nice because I live in Colorado and we're staying in Colorado for the trip, and paints dry fast, man, and so I can keep my palette wet with that. A thing of paper towels, a palette, which the other night when I was painting I covered with plastic wrap and stuck in the fridge, which is a little trick for keeping your paint wet. You can see this red here is still wet, and I actually had it sitting out overnight, not in the fridge, so kind of a handy tool. And I just use these little plastic plates. They're perfect for painting. And then I've got my paints, which again, if you're wanting to keep things small and more condensed, you don't want to bring these big paint tubes, but for my situation, for this particular trip, it's going to be totally fine. But I want to show you what colors I am bringing so that you have a kind of an idea of what you could be packing even if it's a smaller size. If you're packing smaller, I do recommend the paint tubes that are only about this big, acrylic travel size, instead of these big paint tubes. So let's dive into what we got color wise here. Okay, so I have, and it might look like a lot of paint, but I have narrowed down through experience what works best for me. So these two are 2 different yellows. I got a warm yellow and a more primary yellow. Huge difference if you have these 2 options. You can make better greens with this one. You can make better oranges with this one. It's just, it's important to have those. Same with the red and the blue here. So blue, I've got my more blue green. In this case, my phthalo, basically phthalo blue, which makes great greens when you mix it with this yellow. It makes more muted greens when you mix it with this yellow. This one is my Ultramarine Blue, classic blue, a little bit more on the purple side. This one makes great deep greens that are more muted, I guess, with these yellows. It makes great purples though. Reds, we've got this deep cadmium red hue, or just a deep red, more of a crimson red, and then more of an orange red. Again, same thing. This will make great oranges with really either of these yellows over here. And this will make great purples, deeper greens mixed with these. So having a few different options of your primary colors is really helpful. And then I've got a big thing of white because I use tons of white. And then I do throw in a little black, and this is more recent because I find out that there's moments where I want a dark color, and I try to avoid black as much as possible, but having a little tube of it along is not hurting anything. Then I've added in these ones, and this is more for just my experience. So it's hard to get a nice purple with these, like a really rich, vibrant purple. It's very hard to get. And so I like to throw in a purple to help me with that. Purple is my favorite color, so I want to get it right. This is a magenta, which makes great pinks. Mixing it with white, mixing it with some reds, you can warm it up with some yellows. This actually, with the more blue-green here, makes an amazing purple. So, you know, you have so many more options if you just throw in a few more. Again, I'm not like choosing all my paints, which I could go crazy, right? I'm just picking ones that I think are going to be beneficial for, again, my purposes and what I want to paint while I'm on vacation. And then last but not least, I throw in a neon pink. I do have neon orange as well. Basically, my purposes for this, and this is more of a style thing, I paint my underpaintings kind of bright, and I actually mix a little bit of neon into whatever color underpainting I'm going to do. So this pink has been helpful because I can put it in purples, I can put it as pinks or corals or oranges, and it just kind of brightens it up more so I can get those awesome underpainting colors peeking through the way I want to. So there you go. There are my paint options that I'm bringing. Again, if you're traveling smaller or you're trying not to bring as much or you're going on a plane, you might want to be bringing along the smaller acrylic paint tubes. And then everything else being smaller, like smaller travel canvases or canvas paper. Like I said over here, this stuff can be cut into squares or rectangles, and you can clip them to a piece of cardboard, bring that along, bring smaller, shorter travel brushes, smaller container, or even reservoir brushes, and skip some of this stuff. You can have a much smaller palette that's plastic. So there's a lot of options out there, but this is just what I'm bringing this weekend for my trip. Hopefully you found this helpful. I'll be doing more of these like travel kit examples because I also do it in watercolor, and so I want to give you kind of a taste of what it looks like depending on where I'm going, how long I'm going for, what my intentions are with what I want to paint and all of that. So if you like this video, please give it a like, thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you can get more information, more videos like this, as well as other art instructional videos twice a month. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye.